In our previous episode, episode 4, we cited many officials and scholars answering why TSMC's first investment in Japan, JASM in Kumamoto, went so smoothly. In this episode, we're asking, has TSMC's quick progress in Japan been part of Japan's overarching strategy of semiconductor revival? If so, why is their strategy so smart? If not, what could be the reasons behind JASM's better than expected performance? Remember in our previous episode 3, we described Japan's semiconductor revival strategy as dual insurance. JASM in Kumamoto is one measure of the insurance. The other measure is LSTC, devoted to semiconductor R&D and the Rapidus for chip manufacturing. It's all written in METI's Semiconductor Digital Industry Strategy. LSTC and Rapidus are all considered step 2 within the strategy. Their goal draws the most attention, a next-generation semiconductor based on 2nm process technology and entering volume production in 2027.
在成熟的制程这边，现在加入战局，日本来讲完全没有胜算，所以他们选择要往前跳一点。这边的10nm以下的这个节点，目前来讲，世界上面可以生产出来的这个量产的对手数得出来，所以他们只要稍微努力一点，也许还有机会在这边占有一席之地。
Of course, external help is needed, which comes from the American company IBM. Additionally, TSMC's led JASM belongs to step 1, as explained in the third episode. The audience can refer to episode 3 for clarification. The highlight of this episode is the plan seems to be discreetly changing since its initiation.
原来的构想是这样子，因为那个台积电本来的地位是成熟这种的部分，最先进的2nm，原来的构想里面日本自己做，因为那种先进的部分应该不容易请那个台积电来，所以应该不得不自己做。他们应该这样想吧？但是最近台积电陆陆续续发表那个日本可能盖第2站、第3站，第2站有可能是用那个6nm、7nm那种的，蛮先进的。如果盖第3站的话，可能用那个3nm那种的很先进的，所以那个日本政府的构想可能需要有些调整，但是那个怎么调整还不知道。
Indeed, TSMC's joint press release with Sony on November 9, 2021, when it announced the plan to invest in Kumamoto and set up JASM, mentioned 22-28nm as the nodes designated. But on February 6, 2024, 18 days before the opening of JASM, TSMC announced that, let me read it for you. With both fabs, JASM's Kumamoto site is expected to offer a total production capacity of more than 100,000 12-inch wafers per month, starting from 40, 22, 28, 12, 16, and 6-7nm process technologies for automotive, industrial consumer, and HPC-related applications. Obviously, the process technologies that TSMC is willing to export to Japan have extended to 6-7nm during the past 28 months of JASM construction. Who has changed their mind?
No. The concept is not changed at all. Sony, considering the timing of the beginning of mass production, it takes time. Yes.
That's what I read.
Yes.
No change.
No change.
Follow this.
Yes. So for the concept of meeting the demand for domestic demand. So considering the Sony CMOS sensor, of course now their sweet spot for TSMC logic is of course 28 to 12. But considering the closer to the 2030, the demand should migrate to the more advanced areas, including single nanometers. So that's why TSMC decided to construct the second fab going into the single nanometers. That's my understanding. Because they are very smart. Their decision is usually, from my perspective, their decision making is always business basis.
Yeah, it's the reason why it's evolving is because the METI has learned that there are lots of potential of the expansion of the high-end chips, particularly with regard to the expansion of the AI and the automated vehicles and also drones and everything. So evolution of the industry, which is so fast, then the METI has realized that there will be a huge demand in the high-end chips, less than 28. So then METI asked the TSMC, negotiated, and then creating the sort of, the 12 nanometer and less chips for the second factory. And then they are expanding to the idea to set up the Rapidus based on the sort of 2 nano and the beyond 2 nanometer semiconductor. So the reason why we do have a strategy of having a Rapidus is because we had a very good cooperation with IBM, and IBM wanted to have the foundry which is in cooperation with their high-end technology.
TSMC's consideration is perhaps related to Rapidus' roadmap, because Rapidus and TSMC are in the same business, and Rapidus is tasked with the ultimate objective of Japanese semiconductor revival. TSMC should pay attention.
日本には半導体の究極の形である光と電子の融合、光電融合、それからその先にオール光で動く半導体、そういう技術の目が日本にはあると。NTT はその最たるものですし、ラピダスに NTT は出資をしているわけですから。
TSMC originally took a part in Step 1 after noticing there were Step 2 and Step 3 within Japanese chip strategy. Will TSMC want to join? If it can't, what will it plan?
非連続的に発展する要素を感じてるからTSMC は来るんですよと。TSMC が世界一であり続けるには、今日の世界一は油断していると明日は脱落するという恐怖感を経営陣が持っているから1位でいられるんですと。だから鋭利な感覚で日本にアクセスしていかないと先端の技術から外れる危険性があると感じているから来たんだと思いますよと私は言いました。
他们也是很有信心，认为2027年他们可以突破这个技术。更重要的是 ，IBM 也是提供他们技术的援助，所以他们这两线同时进行了。一方面日本自己卸了一个公司，2027年这个目标在那里，一方面他们国内需要啊，车用什么都要啊，这个就请外国公司。
There's still a seemingly not so important issue, but it may become a very important issue in the future for the Japanese chip strategy. Why is Rapidus set up in Hokkaido?
所以九州也有台积电了，所以 Rapidus 不能再选在九州。那九州本来也就是一个地震非常多的地方，所以为了要避险，要选在一个截然不同的地区。那半导体产业非常需要用水，那北海道那个地区呢，冬天都是下雪，所以雪融了就是水。
The lack of talents is a common problem for semiconductor industry globally, but will it be more serious for Rapidus here in Hokkaido? Back to the subject in this episode. TSMC is seen in Taiwan as a silicon shield, so naturally we're concerned about it. JASM is in the foundry business, and so is Rapidus. If both are regarded as part of Japan's dual insurance strategy, what will be their future relationship?
現状ではそれこそプロと、アマチュア草野球ぐらいの関係です。大体ラピダスはまだ工場もできていませんし、スタートしたところでですね、ゼロからのスタートです。片や TSMC はもう揺るぎない世界一のこのファウンドリーです。で、 現状はもう全く、勝負にならない関係ですけども、将来は、ライバルでありパートナーである関係になってくると思いますし、なってほしいと思っています。
如果它有朝一日变成是出口的话，那就会对台湾产生竞争的一个关系。对，但是目前来讲的话呢，那第一个的话，可能在短期之内，他们还是以满足国内需求为主。但是这个短期到底是多短？5年、10年还是15年等等，这个的话没有办法去估计这样。
One of the key points of geopolitical theories is that states are main actors and organisms. They will and have to strive for leading space. Rapidus is a Japanese company and also a product endorsed by US-Japan leaders, so striving for development is only natural. Though TSMC is the #1 foundry in the world, stepping out of Taiwan means facing collaboration and competition between state actors. However, TSMC remains merely a multinational corporation and can only proceed cautiously. In the next episode of Taiwan-Japan series, we will tell you one possible trajectory of future Taiwanese and Japanese semiconductor industry development, a development that might impact the world. If you like our program, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next episode.